All right, here we go. We got one of the up and coming Atlanta artists in the building, Lil Poop. What's good?
Yo, what's going on, Vlad, man? Happy to be here.
Everything's good, man. Like, I'm seeing the numbers going up, the buzz. I just want to congratulate you on everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Vlad. Like, everything been going crazy ever since I dropped. Yeah, I killed them. Followers went up a whole million. My life changed.
So, you're from Atlanta.
Yeah, born and raised Atlanta, South Side. Yeah, feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like on the dirty South.
What was it like growing up on the south side of Atlanta?
Growing up in Atlanta, man, it was pretty basic. Like I went to school, had friends. Normal basics. Type. Nothing unordinary. My life was pretty simple. Like everybody else's life.
And from what I understand, your biological mom was struggling with an addiction at that time.
Vlad, you lucky you who you are, because I would have slapped somebody else. You talking about my mom, but yes, my mom was definitely struggling with an addiction. She was addicted to crack. She fell victim to the rock like many other people did. Coming from where we come from.
Is it true that she gave you up when you were a couple of months old because she was trying to get herself the next fix?
Now, as far as my mom giving me up at 2 days old, see, back then things were a little bit different, but I don't know where you come from, but on the south side of Atlanta, crack was running through the blocks like a track star run on the track. You feel me? Like, so, yeah, she did give me up on the second day. So, next question, Black. You pushing it.
And then there's something else I heard.
Vlad, what you heard, man? Like, who told you something? What you heard?
When you was 8 years old, you shot your neighbor in the foot.
Who told you that?
I mean, we do our research, man.
Like, who told you that, Vlad? Like, how you get that information? I ain't never tell nobody about that, Vlad.
I want to hear from you. What actually happened that day?
Yeah, I hear you say you do your research, but Vlad, you acting real federal right now, bro. I told you about that. Like, I told you before this interview started, man. Don't be asking me no question that's gonna send me up the road, bro. But since you asked, I'll tell you. You feel me? There was a situation between my neighbor and the family that I was living with. One day, I came home from school. I got off the bus, and I walk into my house. When I walk into the house, I noticed that the older lady that I was staying with, she was on the ground, and my neighbor was hovering over her, So I knew where her husband, because I grew up in foster family, so I knew where her husband kept kept that thing. So I did what any other normal kid would do, growing up in my community. I grabbed the blicky and things got pretty sticky. You feel me?
So when that happened, did the authorities ever press you about why you had access to something like that when you was 8 years old? Like, did they start asking you questions like you were some kind of little mastermind or something?
Vlad, stop asking these federal questions, bro. But if you really want to know, I'll just tell you. Honestly, what happened was we ended up lying to the feds and telling them that she actually was the one that shot him. So I never had to deal with the, repercussions of my actions. You feel me? So don't tell nobody about that, but it's between me and you.
Okay, let me bring it back for a second.
Okay.
At what age did you actually start getting involved into the streets? Like, when did all that really start for you?
Well, since we already talked about it, I was given up at birth at day 2, so I'm a product of the streets. My mom was a crack fiend. My dad was a crack dealer. So inherently, I am the streets, Vlad. But if you want to know in specific what day I actually started getting active and shooting people, I think it was around June 30th, 2005. Yeah, I remember that day. June 30th, 2005, because that's when I had first linked up with the plug, Geraldo, over there on Linux. And he gave me about 50 grams. And then I flipped that. And ever since then, I've just been dealing with Junior. You might know Junior. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So once you jumped off the porch that early,
Yeah.
what were you actually getting into back then?
Well, as I just explained to you, I was getting into a lot of stuff, man. We were selling drugs, we were stealing cars, we were hitting licks. This is basic stuff that anybody would get into when you were around that environment. You feel me, Vlad? Because this is all we knew. This is survival. This is all we had.
All right, so not too long after that, something happened that really changed your life.
Yeah.
Your best friend was involved in a situation where he got shot really badly. And you were right there when it happened. Can you talk about what that moment did to you?
First off, I would like to say, rest in peace, Dookie. Long live your night. That day right there changed my life forever because I watched my homie get shot. We had just came from shooting somebody else, and we ain't never see it coming. So when he got shot, I was like, dang, bro, like he was a good dude, like he was a solid individual. So that one really broke my heart. That really broke my heart.
After that happened, did you ever find out what the streets were saying about who did it?
Oh yeah, for sure. We found that out. We found that out like the next hour. They were dead. They ain't last. They got killed. I'm just gonna leave it at that. They got killed that night.